is the foolishness of man. And man has become independent of God. You see, medical people can really explain this. The way my bone structure is completely different from the way the bone structure of my wife is. That's because by design, I'm a male. My wife, by design, she's a female. There are things she can do, I can't do. There are things I can do, she can't do. Even if a man turned himself to a woman, that man cannot carry pregnancy. By research, they say the pain of birth is only woman that can endure it. Man can endure other types of pain. Okay, man can endure other types of pain. But the pain of see, that is God's choice. It is not, man is not that intelligent for God to hand over delicate things like that in the hand of man. That you are a male and you feel it was wrong for you to be a male. The implication of verse 22, I'm just showing you the implication of verse 22 of Genesis chapter 3. Man, independent of God, has begun to define to himself what is right and what is wrong. How old is man? No, think about it. How old is man? To get to that point where you feel what you define as right is actually right, independent of God. That's terrible. Let me not stretch this. But when you go read the book of Job, I think Job 38, after Job had asked many questions, his friends have given their opinion and perspective to things. When God decided to show up, the way God showed up and the way he asked, it was as if the best of Job's intelligent questions. What God was saying that, look, what do you really know? Who is this one that talk as if you don't think before talking? Your talk is from a dark counsel, from ignorance. You know nothing. And to just give Job, just to prepare Job, if at all he want to reason with God, God wanted to prepare the premise on which they can reason. He said, Job, do you know the numbers of stars? Okay. As you are thinking whether you know the numbers, do you know their names? Each of them has a name. Do you know their names? What about the seas? Do you know the measurement of the seas? When was the time that the world wake up to realize that the planet Earth was not square shaped? There's no edge. The world is still discovering what God had known long ago. In fact, not what God had created. He knows all the stars by name. How many solar systems do we have now? Now, if you study solar system 20 years ago, the information you have, if you have not upgraded it, you are behind. The world has moved on. Now, this man that is still discovering things is the same man that is trying to ask God questions. So God was now asking him, you are asking me questions, so I'm asking you, do you know the number of stars? Do you know their names? What about the seas? Do you know the measurement? Let me not go further. Is this same man in his fallen state feel that the population of the world is too much, so let's find a way to reduce them? And he's coming up with all kinds of strange ideas to reduce the population of the world. And anytime they are concerned about reducing the population of the world, Africa comes. Africa is a blessed nation. Oh. Africa is blessed. Now, I just read this scripture to give you an idea of the impact of the fall. Many people, in the world, many people in the world are still rebelling against the Lord. Now, and the last thing I should mention here, sin came into the world, and then through sin, what? Death. So death was also not in the ecosystem of man. Death became something that was introduced in the ecosystem of man. Death. You can't take it away. Death has become legally part of the ecosystem of man. Needless to mention the impact even on the life of a man, the structure of how God made man. God made man spirit, soul, body. But the impact of the fall made man to become body, soul, and spirit. The body, the spirit that's supposed to lead according to the order of God, became the slave of man. The divine life is in the spirit of man. And then the spirit of man find expression in the body through the soul. And the impact of the fall is that the spirit lost its superior position as the authority, the leader, as the pioneer, to the soul. And then man became a slave to a reality and a passion that was not supposed to be primarily his. And then you can see man craving for things that are destructive, and yet man will continue to go after it because he's now a slave. Man lost after things. Man began to go after fame, glory, and